where there was an incident in Texas at I think it was a community track meet. It wasn't even a high school track meet. It was like a community track meet where a young man, Karmelo Anthony, was in an incident where he had to defend himself according to him, and he stabbed a Austin Metcalf.
Yes.
That ended in losing his life. So I do want to give condolences for that, because especially as a kid, 17-year-old, when you hear how they tried to
too early,
how they're explaining the story, you read about it. It says that he passed in his twin brother's arms. Nobody wants to see that. That's horrible.
That's horrific. And then the brother's gonna have trauma for the rest of his life probably. So nobody wants that.
Yeah. So, but I do want to get into kind of what's happening, because it's really been turned into like a racial war in regards to how this happened and turned out. People are trying to paint Karmelo Anthony as some type of thug, some type of violent offender, when he has no history of it. He's actually quite the opposite. High grades, done very well in school. I believe the picture with the gun that they've been trying to show with him is an air gun. That's not even a real firearm. And he's with other kids that don't look like him. Like, there's one black boy and then two other kids that have of different other races. So, and we can also show, and what's been so disgusting with this is they'll try to paint Karmelo Anthony as this thug for these guns, but we can find plenty of pictures of Austin doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's where, like I said, it gets very nasty, because instead of taking this case at its merit, us trying to find, what exactly happened in the moment, we are turning this into a smear fest of two kids who, I don't know what kind of kid Austin was, but I don't think he deserves to be his name smeared, nor do I think Karmelo Anthony does.
Yeah.
Because I think from what we're being told, I listened to a clip in the video. I don't know if I can find it or not. There was a clip of a video where a man said he was at the location and he saw what happened. And he said that Karmelo Anthony was sitting. I want to see if I can find it so I can play it.
Self-defense.
That's what
some of the eyewitnesses said.
So that was what he was claiming, that self-defense. But what the gentleman said was Karmelo Anthony was sitting by himself. Austin and his brother came up to him, told him he needs to leave. And then that's when the altercation came up. He put his hand into his book bag and said, touch me again, and something's going to happen. He gave him a warning. They commenced to touching him, putting their hands on him. And that's when he
tried to jump him.
Yeah,
or
that's when
they were jumping him.
According to what the man was saying, yeah. He said the dude was trying to jump him. And then that's when he reacted and, stabbed him and ran off. So this is what I got right here.
Crazy bad. It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity, so I'm watching everything going on around it, because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So
I want to get into some more parts to that, because there's been a lot of misinformation that's been placed out. They've been trying to paint again Karmelo Anthony and anybody who's supporting him as these monsters. First off, he has deserved every bit of money that he has earned in regards to those GoFundMes. Whatever dollar he has gotten, he deserves that.
GoFundMe took away the money, right, and refunded everyone that donated to him.
Not that I haven't heard any confirmation. Everything I heard for that is they still had a GoFundMe.
Okay.
They haven't liquidated it from the last part that I saw, but they have had a GoFundMe. So one of the things that they were trying to say was that his parents were buying a new house. So yes, they did mention that they were going to acquire a new residence, but they were going to do that for his safety.
Yeah,
because he's been getting tons of threats.
Because their current home is listed on the white pages and has been for a while, and people found their address. So
what they found out was that they were in like an $800K home, which they leased. They've been leasing the home since 2022. What y'all have to understand is black people can have money too. This idea that y'all want to paint this kid like he is somebody who is grown as a have-not is not going to run true, because it does not exist. The boy knows his father. The boy has been doing impeccable in school. So this idea that they're going to try to
just
paint of him
black kid
is not going to work. That kid was a young man defending himself. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but black people do have the right to defend themselves. I hate to tell y'all that, because I know it makes a lot of y'all feel uncomfortable who are not black to hear that. But black people have the right to defend themselves. And that's just the truest thing to it. And in his state, people are trying to go and say that, oh, this is first degree murder. That's why I already think he's about to get off of this. Because if you're trying to put this as first degree murder, are you crazy? Do you know what first degree murder means? That means he went there with the intent to kill Austin. That everything that he did and set up was to kill Austin. What does that even make any sense?
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense, because he didn't even approach the man he killed. The man that ended up dead approached him.
And then there's a phrase that I'm not hearing enough of that I heard a lot during Trayvon Martin. You remember that phrase? You remember the law that everybody kept?
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground. So I want to take a look at stand your ground in Texas and just see what it says. Stand your ground, Texas. Let's see what it says. Okay. This is AI overview. So this is it may not be the most accurate. So I just want to read just what the general consensus, what they have here says. Law means an individual have no duty to retreat before using force in self-defense if they are lawfully present in a location and reasonably believe they are in imminent danger. This principle applies in various situations, including home vehicle, place, yada yada. But essentially, what it is saying is when you are involved in an altercation where someone is violating your space and who you are and your entity, that you do not have to retreat. You can defend yourself.
Yeah, if you feel like you're in danger.
And that's exactly did that not sound like that?
Yeah.
According to what that man said, what he just said in that video?
He gave them a warning, was like, if you put your hands on me, I will defend myself. They put their hands on him. He defended himself. That's exactly what happened.
And they just hate to see that. Y'all, and again, I'm not gonna say anything what y'all would love to cut up to say, so they're like, oh, look at this black man. No, I'm not gonna revel in this boy death. I'm just gonna tell you, black people have the right to defend themselves. And if it comes at your expense, I'm sorry. Maybe you should not violate the space of black people.
Yep.
And black exactly bodies. Because even in this situation, Black lives matter.
If they weren't in that boy's face in the first place, then he would have been alive. If they weren't trying to jump him or whatever they were trying to do, he also would have still been alive. So it's very unfortunate that he died, but y'all need to stop violating black people.
Mind your business. Stay away. Because it was crazy that another video was going viral that kind of painted the situation of how these things really occur. Because I've experienced stuff like this. I went to school in a predominantly white institution. I've heard different experiences. I remember one time I was walking into a convenience store. I was right down the street from where my apartment building was or whatever. And I'm walking in and this dude's coming in. So I just hold the door. He said, it was a white guy. He said, "Thanks, my nigga." I had to stop. I was like,
I'd have grabbed the back of his shirt, yanked him out of that door, and then walked through myself, slammed the door. Get the door your motherfucking self, honky.
And the only reason I didn't react, because like I said, he already walked through and I stopped. And the only reason, because I knew if I walked in, I was going to say something and it was going to spark some shit off. So I just closed the door and went to another convenience store because I knew what I was going to do. But you had to experience stuff like that all the time, because the moment I react to him now, that gives them everything they want.
Yeah.
All I would have done was lost. All that would have done, I would have lost. As soon as the moment I would have reacted to that, I would have lost.
Yeah, 100%.
And being in those situations, you always have to be 10 times smarter than the white people around you because they're gonna try to play you out your position every time with the quickness, and then try to, oh bro, you're insane, man.
I'm gonna be the insane bitch every time.
But you just, and unfortunately, and you can't really do that because you're giving them what they want.
I know, but it feels so good.
No, it doesn't, because everything.
No, like I'm fucking with you.
I know that, but I understand that, but it's a serious matter in that moment because look what just happened. What we talking about right now?
We know as black people ourselves, we have to have so much self-control. We have to hold everything back. We have to bottle everything up when things like that happen, because even if you are the person who is being egged on, you can't react, because if the police show up or if authorities show up, then you're going to be seen as the aggressor regardless of what started the situation. So you always have to take that into consideration, and you always have to be calm, and you always have to take a deep breath. Like, you have no other choice. It's either fucking crash out and go to jail or suck it up and move on.
Or my approach in the future has been to just respond with what they do. So if you disrespect me verbally, I'm just going to disrespect you verbally. I'm going to make you initiate the contact so that then by law can now play into the effect.
Looking back now, what would you have done in that situation?
No problem, Cracker.
That's not enough.
Honky. Peckerwood.
I don't. It would have had to. I would have just had to slash his tires. I don't know.
See, like that's. But to me, I feel like when you do that, you give that more power to them than it has over you. So it's like you're allowing the word to feel like the only way that's equal is for me to damage property or damage you, and that allows them to know the word has more power over you than anything you say to them. So to me, it's disrespectful. I call them redneck, call them honky, call them crack. Like, I'm going to give you the same disrespect that you gave me. And I'm going to add more sauce onto it because I'm probably going to say a word or use a word.
Words have that much weight to them.
Then add a stupid cracker. You could say that too. Like, you can add all that to it.
I'm going to have to give you a couple sentences. It can't just be, it's going to have to be a couple sentences.
The moment that you say that, you admit that word has more power over you.
It's going to have to be a couple sentences. I'm going to have to look around.
And you're
I'm going to have to talk about, I'm going to have to mention
you're
that you
giving the cracker a superpower. Like, I don't understand why you would feel like you need that. Your people killed them in Haiti.
Okay. That was not here.
That's what I'm saying, in Haiti. So I'm saying, like, why I wouldn't understand why you would feel the need to even allow that word to mean anything,
because of my ego.
But you can demean them.
It just
with your words.
There's no word that has the weight to it as like a nigga does.
Okay, so let's
that I can say to a white person. Honky, cracker, whatever. Those are all cute. But none of them have that weight to them. And there's no comparison. The N-word has so much like ugly history behind it. There's no equivalent that I could call a white person that gives the same impact. That's what I'm saying.
Small dick cracker.
So it would, maybe.
Like, you just gotta add more sauce to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to. It'll have to be a couple sentences. No, I'm gonna have to.
That's crazy. Giving a cracker a haiku after he called you a nigga is nuts.
A haiku?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, that's nuts.
I'm gonna give you a verse, nigga.
That's wild. Just call them a cracker back. Like, that's just the best way to return it.
I don't know. I just feel like cracker's not that deep. Do white people get that upset by being called cracker?
You had them stupid or something to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you just say cracker, yeah, like, they're gonna be like, who cares? But if you stupid redneck cracker, like, yeah, they're not gonna like that.
Okay. I would have to look around, make some observations, and read you specifically.
You'd be like this, hey, you pencil dick Peckerwood? Like, come on. Like,
I would never say Peckerwood.
Peckerwood is good. That's what they call him in jail.
I just like that.
In prison.
That don't roll off the tongue. That sounds like a lame ass term to me. I like pencil dick though.